Well, hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Megan, and I am so glad that you are joining me on another adventure outdoors. This is quite a special video because we're backpacking the Art Loeb trail. We are starting out up here at Camp Daniel Boone with a climb up Cold Mountain. I was reading a review for Cold Mountain, and it said if Cold Mountain were a person, their heart would be cold and hard. And it really punches you in the gut straight out of the gate. Backpacking the Art Loeb requires a little bit of research and pre-planning. I mean, that's the case with any backpacking trip, but there's just a lot less information about this as opposed to trips I've done in the past, like rim to rim hiking the Grand Canyon, anything on the Appalachian Trail. So spent a good bit of time kind of looking over maps and figuring out how we wanted to get to the trailhead. There are some shuttle services you can use. They're about $80 to $100 per person. So since both of us were coming from different ways, we already had 2 cars with us. So we opted to park one car down at the southern terminus and then hop in the car together and ride up here to the north. And after we finish the thru hike, we will hop in my car and come back up here to retrieve my mom's car. The water sources this time of year, we're backpacking in, is it October? It's October. And we've been told they're pretty much all dried up, but we did have some rain in the past week, so we might have some sources up here on top of Cold Mountain and another over by Butter Gap shelter. But you kind of have to be prepared to do some longer water carries, especially if you're not doing this hike in just one day. It's like 40 degrees out here and I'm sweating. Flat is a very welcome sight. Came to the first stream that's marked on the map, and it's actually flowing pretty well. So hopefully this is a good omen for the water sources on this trip. Got into a spot where it kind of looks like a mudslide happened in this re-entrance / creek. So we're making our way, crawling down some rocks, trying to get back up to the trail, which is up there. There are fiery red and orange and yellow mountains out there. Welcome to lunchtime on trail. We've got some cold cuts for Cold Mountain, some cheese, classic, and some crackers. That is what we call a backpacker's charcuterie board. And of course, a Diet Coke, because we got a lot of climbing today. It's a nice view over there. We should be hitting the top of Black Blossom, Tennant Mountain area in like 3-4-ish miles. Looking forward to it. It's a beautiful day. On the road again. I'm bundled up like an Eskimo because this wind is cold. The sun feels amazing, but the wind is frigid. We're heading up to the Shining Rock campground, which hopefully the water source there is flowing, because that will potentially be our last water source until tomorrow afternoon. So I'm gonna fill up 3.5 liters up there, and then we'll head on up to Tennant Mountain and Black Balsam. This descent right here is slightly reminiscent of coming off of Albert Mountain Fire Tower. We're going back down to see that peak up there, which is Shining Rock. We made it here to where we're camping tonight. We'll continue that way tomorrow. Now we're just gonna try to find a campground. Sounds like a lot of people over there, so we're gonna head this way. We found a place to call home. We're gonna set it up. How are you feeling after today?
It was strenuous. I'm tired, but it was good. I pushed myself and I made it.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
So we've got a little change of plans. We're gonna do the East Fork Loop Trail now, which is actually similar mileage. It's about 8 miles less, but it's about 4,000 feet, almost said miles, 4,000 feet less of elevation gain. We got the tent set up, so I am on my merry way to go and filter some water for dinner tonight and coffee in the morning. Gotta sleep with the water tonight because it's supposed to be down in the teens. We are up here. It's us and then 2 girls we've kind of been leapfrogging with all day, and a huge Boy Scout group. So we're kind of like tucked away by ourselves. And then there's a huge group. You can hear them. They're slightly rowdy, so I hope they go to bed at some point. All right, let's go find the stream. Might take me 10 years to fill up a liter, but I'm just glad it's running. All right, listen up for the night. Good morning. It's about 9 o'clock. I am just finishing up my coffee here, and then we're gonna break camp and hopefully hit the trail around 10. I'm a little sad that we're not getting to do the full Art Loeb trail, but I definitely will have to come back and I'm thinking I might try it as a day hike. This weekend I've changed my perspective. I'm just gonna enjoy the time with my mom, kind of having a chill, easier hike, and the leaves are beautiful. So soaking that in, soaking in the sun, and making some memories along the way. Sometimes it's not always about getting to the destination, but about the journey. And I know it sounds cheesy, but when you've got great company, it makes it easier to believe. These views are starting to open up. You can see this peak right over that we're gonna skirt around is 6,000 feet. And then Tennant Mountain is just behind it. And it's a bald up there next to Black Blossom Bald. So we should have 360 views. It does kind of look like some clouds are rolling in from the south and a little bit in the east, but it still should be spectacular. At this point, anything is going to be easy compared to Cold Mountain.
Mind of its own.
Fanciest thing I have seen on the Art Loeb. Look at these stairs. Got cheese, crackers, and salami, and a view for lunch today. What do you have back there? Tuna and Cheetos. She doesn't want to come on the rock. That's Tennant Mountain, Black Blossom. So we'll go up there and then take the trail that goes back around the backside. Tennant Mountain. Little buddy. Last time we were up here on Scenic Mountain, we camped on Black Blossom in a storm, windstorm, rainstorm. Got a girl camping with us who just brought a bivy bag. So you can imagine she was quite wet the next morning. But we hiked over here to Tennant Mountain and the clouds cleared. We ended up with a view. Totally worth it, but one of those times you'll never forget. We are starting our climb up Black Blossom. Black Blossom is pretty special for me. It was where I took my first backpacking trip. Had a tiny backpack and a lot of carabiners with stuff attached to the outside. And I try to come back here once every year, once every 2 years to camp or just hike up and see the view. This place has a little bit of history for me. Started my backpacking journey here. There is the parking lot down there for Black Blossom. It is crowded. Man. The similarities between this place and Carver's Gap are quite eerie. I mean, I get they're both balds, but we stopped by the Black Blossom Knob parking lot to use the pit toilet. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. But also it's a knob, so there's not many places to go and be private, so kinda necessary. Y'all, do better. Take care of places. There is some water flowing by the Black Blossom parking lot. Proof. So to get to the other trail that will connect our loop, we are hiking on this Forest Service road for about 3 miles. This is actually a back way to get to Tennant Mountain to do a loop for that and Black Blossom. A little snake friend. We just turned onto the Ivester Trail. I don't think I'm saying that correctly, but like that's how it looks like you can pronounce it, so that's what I'm saying. Off of the Forest Service Road. We're gonna try to get in at least another mile today, if not 2. That way that'll leave us with about 5 miles to do tomorrow, and then my mom has to drive back home. So she should be able to do her drive in the daylight. And then I am spending another night in the area. We have just made it to where we are setting up camp for the night. We've just put the tent up and we're going to try to have a small fire tonight since it's not as windy. Today we did an 11-mile loop over across Tennant Mountain and Black Blossom Knob and then back. And we're camping about where we camped last night, but just a little bit further down the trail. And tomorrow we did get some intel that the trail that we might have been planning to take back down could have some deadfalls, so we're going to kind of look into that tonight. We do have service here. If not, we'll take the same way out that we came in. Either way, we are going to set up a fire and have some dinner and enjoy a slow night here at camp. Dinner tonight. Mom's got soup. I have the same as last night because I'm a boring backpacker. Good morning, bear canister. Oh my gosh, warm coffee. Well, good morning here from the campsite. Today is the last day of our trip. It's the day we hike back out to the car. But I was just sitting here having breakfast and we have service at this campsite and I got a notification on my phone. I'm just gonna show you first. That is a picture memory from 7 years ago yesterday of my first ever backpacking trip. I told you guys yesterday about my trip up to Black Blossom where I was just carrying my backpack and all my gear was hanging off. I was carrying a jug of water in one hand, my tent in the other. It was crazy. I was so inexperienced. I had no clue what I was doing. I did not have the right gear for it, but I absolutely loved it. And that was 7 years ago yesterday. And it's just funny how I was reminiscing on that, and actually it was the day that it happened. So I'm just really grateful for all that that day led to, and I'm here today because I took a risk even when I knew that I probably wasn't adequately prepared, which I don't know if I would recommend all the time, but it worked out. You can definitely tell that this trail is not quite as frequented as some of the other trails in the area, but the views from it are still really nice. I mean, there's some bushes that you have to push past and some deadfall that you have to climb over, but they have done some very minor maintenance from what we can tell so far. We've got about 1.5 miles left. We should be hitting the creek, which I'm pretty excited for. There's supposed to be a waterfall or two, depending on how the water is flowing, as we've seen from some of the water sources that I've shown you guys. It's kind of scarce out here. Last night we were scavenging the campsite area for birch, trying to get the fire going, and this trail is just like littered with birch trees. It's kind of annoying. These trees are beautiful, the way the light is hitting them. Wow. trail snack of the day. Mini caramel stroopwafels. 10 out of 10 recommend. We've made it a little over halfway down the trail and we're stopping here at this beautiful little waterfall to have some lunch, and then we've got 2 more miles to keep going down to the car. After we eat though, we've got to cross right down there. Shouldn't be too bad. Looks like the water is very low and there are plenty of rocks. We've just come to this kind of crazy washout. That's the trail up there. You can't tell kind of how deep this is on the GoPro, but I think we're gonna try to go up and see if we can maybe cross further up this little gully. We are about a mile from the car, and this is the part of the backpacking trip where I just start feeling really grateful. One, that I'm able to be out here physically to do this and to have the time to do it, and 2, that places like this exist where we can get out here, we can recreate, we can enjoy nature, we can challenge ourselves physically and mentally, and just bring good company along. And I know that the beauty on this place will not soon be lost on me, especially being able to do this trail during peak fall colors. It's been really special to do it with my mom, and by the time we get down to the car, we will have done about 24 miles. I will have to come back to this place pretty soon, maybe in the spring, to try and knock out the Art Loeb in a day. And I would love to get up here to Pisgah to do some mountain biking as well. But either way, this has been a beautiful weekend out in the woods, backpacking. And yeah, I'll see you guys one final time when we get back to the car. We made it back to the parking lot. This car up there. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I like that last trail.
The
A lot
flat.
easier than Cold Mountain.
5 miles of downhill. Oh man, what a beautiful weekend up here in North Carolina. All right, well, we're gonna end the video here. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, follow along. Subscribe to my channel. Love to see you guys in future videos. Backpacking trips, travel, all the things. So see you guys in the next one.